Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson. Joined with me is the man with the plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. It's gray and rainy, but hey, you know what? It's that time of the year. I'll take this over the snow any day. What about you?
Yeah, me too. It's nice, still a nice temperature outside, 10, 11 degrees, comfortable.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good enough. I mean, nights are a little chilly, I guess, but I mean, it is what it
Yep.
is.
Yeah, not bad.
But that means we are getting close to Survivor Series this Saturday, my friend. Go home show happened for Raw last night, so I thought maybe we just take a quick peek at it and see what went down for the final show there. But before
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
everybody, at the bottom of your screen there, you'll see all our links. So if you're watching this, you see our links. Go to those pages and like and subscribe. If you're listening to this, Samp and Chance, and spelled A-N-D, Samp and Chance at Samp and Chance. That's our Instagram, and that's our Twitter, and that will be our TikTok accounts. So
Yeah.
one title for three. Samp and Chance Pod with the letter D. That's our Facebook. And yeah, that's basically everything right there, man, where you can find us and see what's going on with us and what we're up to and what we're doing and whatnot, man. We are open books. At least I am. What about you?
Yeah, we are. We're on all the social media platforms, so come check us out.
100%, 100%. So those who have subscribed and whatnot, thank you. And we will continue producing content for everyone here. And
Yep.
we'll hopefully get more of you on board with us as we go along.
Slowly but surely, it's climbing a little bit, little by little.
Nah, it's growing. It's growing. We just got
Yep.
to keep working hard, man. All right. So
Yep.
Raw results from last night. Last night was the final Raw before Survivor Series this Saturday on the Peacock Network if you're in the States, and on the WWE Network if you're anywhere else in the world. Show starts off with Kevin Owens coming out and, just kind of reintroducing himself and bringing himself back into the mix. Um, Says he brought a few friends of his, and out come the brawling brutes from the crowd and Drew McIntyre. Um, Basically, they just cut their promos in the ring
Yeah.
talking about Survivor Series and whatnot, which brings out the Judgment Day, which is kind of cool. Um, they kind of go back and forth and saying that if you're coming onto our show, you have to respect us, blah, blah, blah. Here's something I took away from that interaction. Sheamus and Finn Balor interaction was kind of fun.
Yeah,
Sheamus
it was good.
calling him a fake patty, a
That was
plastic,
good.
no, sorry, a plastic patty. And that basically just led up to the match. The three Judgment Day fellas against the Brawling Brutes with yeah, I guess Drew and Kevin Owens were on commentating for that session.
I wasn't a
Uh,
fan of the Brawling Brutes at first, but they won me over. They're a real good team. I enjoyed them.
yeah, no, you know what? Butch, I've been watching him as Pete Dunne before in NXT UK, and then when he came over here, I've always been a fan of him.
Oh, you're
Um,
right. That was Pete. I never even thought about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That was Pete Dunne. So basically, this match starts. What can I say, man? It was your basic match. I mean, it was a lot of spots, a lot of hard hitting moments there. Basically, the OC came out at one point to kind of
yeah.
run interference. Mia Yim got involved with Rhea Ripley, and basically Owen wins the match by, or was it Owen who won the match? Sorry, Judgment. Pardon me here. They defeated the Judgment Day. I apologize. My notes
Yeah,
are all
Brawling
over
Brutes
the
won.
place here. Yes, I apologize. After the match, Judgment Day attacks Sheamus, and he fought them off. And the OC came out again and attacked Priest. Kevin Owens hit Balor with the stunner. So
Yep.
basically, you got AJ versus Finn Balor coming out of this, going into Survivor Series. We'll talk about that because there's an interesting fact to this, which I'm not sure how many people know about. We go to a backstage segment with The Miz claiming that he's injured his hand while filming a TikTok video, so he can't face Johnny Gargano tonight. And then he introduces his replacement, Omos.
I like that.
Omos, yeah, I like Omos's new gear too. What do you think of it?
I like it. Looks better than
Yeah,
before.
yeah, right. So Omos with MVP defeated Johnny Gargano. It's typical. What could Johnny do, man? He tried to run some offense. He did the best he could. but you got to keep the big guy strong, right? Especially after coming off a
Oh,
loss.
the size difference, just looking at that, I look like a little kid compared to Omos. Well, most people do, but yeah. So I'm glad Omos took the W there.
Yeah, yeah. So we come back and Seth Rollins is now being interviewed via satellite. Rollins says that he's still the stupidest person on the face of the earth for attacking him from behind last week, and that it's his game and that he never ends well for others. So this kind of leads into another match that was made last night for Survivor Series. You're going to get a three-way for the U.S. title. Seth Rollins versus Theory, who's really done a 360 in his character change, right? I mean, Theory was saying in an
Yeah, he's a lot
interview
more.
during Raw. Yeah, he's like saying, I hit rock bottom, he said, with the character, and now all I can do is work my way back up, right? So I like what they're doing with him. I like how they're repackaging him on the fly. And it's kind of cool. It's getting the goofy out of him and making him
Yeah,
more
I think they should
serious.
have. I think they should have
Right?
left him how they had it. But yeah, I mean, I hope he wins that Survivor Series personally.
Well, let's see what he does, man. I
I
mean,
they give the young guy the belt. I mean, Bobby's mid-40s, Seth's late 30s. Let the young guy have the belt. Let him put him over. Let him shine. And they don't need that. They don't need the U.S. title to be relevant. Bobby and Seth, I don't think. Let Theory kind of put a stamp on it. Young breed, you know.
well, I mean,
So I see it.
his comments, and the interview that he cut, the promo that he cut after all that fact, is where he said, I've hit rock bottom. I can't go anywhere but up from here.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And he basically said, I am going to win, regardless
I
of what
hope
any
so.
of you guys think. So let's see where they go with this, man. Even if he doesn't win, he's going in the right direction,
Yeah,
right?
I just don't see the logic of having an old, like 45-year-old dude and the mid-30s guy beating a young 25 or 6-year-old guy, especially who's supposed to be one of the up and comers. Let the young guys. It's a young man's game. Let them have. I mean, not saying Bobby's not in great shape, but let the young guys have the belts. But the old guys don't need it. I don't think personally.
Well, I don't think Seth needs it. He stands alone
No,
without it,
he doesn't need it.
regardless, right?
Bobby
So
doesn't need it either. He's like Brock. They're just badass butt kickers. They don't need that. A U.S. belt on a heavyweight. I don't think he needs it.
I
Let's see what
would
happens. It'll be a
I
good
would
match.
I would normally disagree with you, just to disagree with you. But the fact is, I think that would be a good move in the
Mm-hmm.
way, just because of his character. I'm more in tune with who he is right now than his goofy character. I didn't care for it that
Mm-hmm.
much myself personally. I thought it
Yeah,
was a detriment to him because a lot of times, if you're a goofy character, you get pigeonholed a goofy character, correct?
yeah.
Right? It's kind of like some actors, for example. If they do that particular role, they'll be pigeonholed as that guy forever.
Yeah, they're trying to make like the pretty boy guy taking selfies, looking at himself,
Well, I mean,
built
it worked
pretty.
for the time. It worked at the time. It was cool. It worked,
Mm-hmm.
considering the Thunderdome era and whatnot and what have you. But this guy's paid his dues. Just not forget, man. This guy's been around since 2018, 2019, maybe
Yep.
NXT or the Thunderdome era when he was aligned with Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
and then going back down to NXT. So, I mean, he has put time in. He's done his work. So
Yep. It's
there's
gonna be a good
nothing.
match because all three of those guys are great performers and wrestlers. So that's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most on Survivor Series.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, that leads into Austin Theory's getting into a match with Mustafa Ali. There's another interesting character here with Ali, man. I mean, I see what you're doing with him, and I hope he gets his reward too at some point here. I mean, you want to talk
I
about
think.
young guys? This is another young guy that deserves a
Yep.
shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
After
agree.
the match, Bobby comes out and he says that Theory's out of his mind and thinks that he's going to stop him from taking the U.S. title. Um, and basically Theory showing guts, man. He stands up to Bobby and then he starts fighting with him, but then realizes, oh shit, hits him with the chair a couple
Yep.
of times, doesn't work, he runs away. So there's still hints of him being a goofy guy that way, but
A
being a
little
smart
bit, a
goofy
little
guy,
bit.
right? I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. And unfortunately, he runs into Mustafa Ali in the back and runs away
Yep.
again. And when Bobby comes, and Ali, I mean, respect to him for trying, but don't pick fights you can't win, brother. That's all I'll
No,
say
no.
about that.
He's a cruiserweight. He's a little guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Elias and Matt Riddle defeat the Alpha Academy. Standard match. I don't know what to add to that. I mean, it was what it was. Uh, Drew McIntyre defeated Baron Corbin again. A pretty solid match, actually. There was a couple of moments there where
It
I
wasn't
thought that
bad.
was
Yeah,
where Baron looked really, really strong. Like, I mean, they're trying to make him kind of goofy and whatnot, but I think people forget how strong this guy truly is, man. Like, he can hold his own against a lot
Former
of these
Golden Belt
guys.
boxer.
Well, yeah, yeah, but I mean, boxing is boxing. In terms of this world of professional wrestling and stuff, he's another guy that I hope he gets his dues. Um, he's played the heel role
He's
so
a legit
well.
tough guy in real life, but they make him always silly. I don't know why they don't make him just a big dude. Was he 6'7", 6'8"?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a
Big
big
guy,
dude.
like
He's done his stuff. I mean, whenever he
good
does
athlete.
wrestle, he shows he's capable, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, from a creative standpoint, you would think, okay, Drew's going into this match thinking whatever, but it could have hurt him. I mean, he could have got injured. He could have gotten beaten up pretty bad, which would have been kind of a
I think the
problem.
problem with Corbin is that they changed his character so many times. They don't let it stick for a while. They keep changing it. They rush with it. And I don't think he's ever going to get on track just because they've made so many changes to him. Goofy Corbin, happy Corbin, sad Corbin, the guy, the one that Andre the Giant Royal Rumble with his long hair. Now he's got JBL. It's just like, he's a veteran now. And it's like, they're so lost with him. I don't think he's ever going to catch on. I
Well,
like the guy.
I think very much like JBL, and I think this is why they will work together, in essence now that I kind of think about it a little bit more. You look at a guy like JBL, he came as like uh what was it, Bradshaw, or well, no, his first gimmick when he came out, he was like Hawkeye or something like that with the
Mhm.
Cowboys and whatnot. Then he became Bradshaw, right? And then from Bradshaw, he became this or that, but then he finally found his groove with APA and then into the whole JBL character, right?
Yeah.
So Justin Hawk Bradshaw, that's what he came out as first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Remember,
right. Yeah.
it was Justin Hawk Bradshaw, and kind of very similar parallels, I think, to those two guys. I think he
Yeah.
found the final evolution
But
of Bradshaw or of Corbin, and let's see where he goes with it. I mean, the world is his. He's a big guy that can move. He has a lot of potential. He's stuck around.
I
They
don't think
all
it's him. I think it's creative, even from the Vince Day, even the Triple H's. I think all of them are dropping the ball with this guy. If I think that works with the guy, let him try it for a bit. They keep every few weeks, every month, he's got a new gimmick, new character. Like him and Madcap, they were hilarious and entertaining. It didn't even last very long. And they tore that down. And it's like everything he does, he's very adaptive. Like he can do different kind of characters, but give the guy a little bit of time to develop one of these characters that you want him to have at least. I don't know.
let's see what they do with this, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I think with the other characters, like with Happy Corbin, how long could you run with that for? You know what I mean? It's just almost like you look at the characters that he had, Sad Corbin, then Happy Corbin. I mean, those were weird characters to have because I mean, how long can you be sad for before you just give up? You know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
Like,
That's CM Punk. He's been doing that for years.
right.
I
But
know what
in
you mean.
terms of the character, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just weird. Like, and the happy one, like, I mean, how long could that have gone for? It just felt like there was a limited ceiling to both characters there, right? Whereas
Yeah.
now I feel with the character that he has right now, that can go on for the rest of his career. And to be honest, the one thing I like about Corbin a lot is the fact that he's a legitimate heel.
He is.
He's truly not liked by fans. Like, and he's doing a great job at it. I think the hardest thing in business now is being a heel. Because being a heel is so cool that everybody wants to cheer for the heel or the anti-hero, right? To actually have real heat on you like he does all the time. I mean, he's really good at what he's doing, man. Like,
Well, and
he had
also harder to be a heel nowadays than it was 20, 30 years ago because you can't say much and do much or they're going to cancel you and kick you off, right? So they got to be good at walk a fine line nowadays also.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think politics and wrestling and politics and sports go hand in hand. I think they should be
Shouldn't.
separate, in my opinion.
I so agree with you,
Um, I'm
but it
not.
doesn't.
Well, but it's unfortunate. I get it. Athletes see this as a platform to kind of share their view and their opinion on things and to further their causes. And I appreciate that, man. We live in a democratic society. Your grandfather, my grandfather are among those that fought for the freedoms that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, I can't, be down on anyone for it. But in my personal opinion, sports and politics should be separate. Plain and
100%
simple,
agree with you. Yeah, 100%.
right? Like all the stuff going on at the World Cup right now. Yeah, Qatar's not a great place to be. Qatar's, got a lot of issues, but the World Cup is the World Cup. I don't think you should be throwing in political issues there. Just
I,
let the
I don't
guys
think
play
so.
soccer, man. Just it's soccer or football, wherever you
Yep.
are in the world. To play the game, right? I mean, if you want to talk about stuff, you guys are all famous. You all have the opportunity and social media platforms where you can share your views and opinions. And those who want to check them out can check them out there.
Yep.
But don't make a mockery of the game.
I totally agree with you, dude. It's
You know,
outrageous.
a lot of people work their
Players.
whole life to get to this stage, to be a part of this huge tournament. I'm talking about the World Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
And to be shadowed by all the stuff that that's happening behind the scenes. Like, I mean, who's naive to believe that you're gonna use labor, the cheapest form of labor they possibly could to build these things.
Oh,
Of
exactly.
course, of course, thousands of people were gonna die because the standards in which they were working in were deplorable.
Oh yeah.
Right? The same goes
Yep.
for every Olympics outside of maybe this one here or ones held in America or North
Yep.
America or Australia for the most part. You go anywhere else in the world, especially the Middle East and places like that, of course, they're going to bring in all the cheapest labor from around the world, man.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. I
like
don't know
these,
why they're all outraged now. Take some courage. Don't show up to the World Cup. Now take a real stand. You
but
know what I mean?
absolutely. And why wasn't anyone, I mean, maybe they were saying something, but why wasn't at the forefront that these guys are lifting bricks up a scaffolding which they made by twigs and sticks,
Yeah.
wearing flip flops, with no
Yeah. I
shoes.
know. Where was the outrage then?
Where was the outrage then? That's when it should have started, right? I mean, but anyways, we digress. So Raw basically ends this way, Chancellor.
Yeah.
The girls come out because I was wondering what's going to go on. So they basically had the
Yep.
control match versus Asuka versus Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhea Ripley wins the match, which means that um, Bailey's team will have control over the ring.
Okay.
Meaning, so for war games, two competitors start, and I think every 5 minutes, the next competitor will
Yeah, that's
enter,
right.
right? So they have the advantage, speaking.
Okay.
But that being said, we don't know who number 5 is on the girl on Bianca's team. Now, I'm pretty certain it's going to be Becky Lynch.
Seems that way. Now for war games, are they having two rings side by side or the cages? Like
Yeah,
old
yeah, yeah,
school?
yeah. Old school, man. It's going to be
Okay.
two rings side by side and one big ass motherfucking cage.
Now
So,
that's good then.
so
Like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So you'll basically see one ring used for all the matches except the war game one. So you never see anyone going in. Like, for example, I mean, maybe things will change this time, but I've never seen like AJ versus Finn. You'll never see them go in the other ring,
Yeah, no.
right? But then again, it might be kind of cool to see that. That might be
You never
interesting.
know. Anything can happen out there.
Well, I've not seen it before going into other war games, so
I don't think
not
so.
sure. I
That was
mean,
Dusty Rhodes who created War Games, wasn't it?
Dusty Rhodes created war games, man. Dusty Rhodes was the Pat Patterson of WCW.
Just a better speaker. He's a hell of a talker. One of the best promo guys ever. He's so good on that mic.
No, he was good, man. He was really good. So this leads us up to Survivor Series 2022 being held this Saturday. You basically got the men's war games match, which is the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, and you also have Sokoa,
Yep.
Sokoa, the third Uso, and Mr. Red himself,
Sami
Sami
Zayn.
Zayn. Yes, here. A lot of rumors around him, but we'll get into that at some point here. Going up against the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens and Drew
Drew?
McIntyre. Yeah. Um,
Who's going to win it?
Bloodline.
You think Bloodline takes it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. I think so. I think that's going to start the storylines going into WrestleMania and beyond, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Something's going to go down here. I have a feeling something's going to happen where Roman's not happy. Now, check this out. I thought about this a little bit. Do you want to hear what I think is going to happen?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Okay, so basically, I think it's going to end up with Jay losing the match for them
Okay.
somehow. Roman's
Yeah.
not going to be happy, right? This is going to lead at some point of having Jay, leaving the bloodline, so to speak. Right?
Okay.
But somewhere along the line, this is going to allow that feud to happen with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso now. So that will fill you out till the rest of the year. And I think by Royal Rumble, before Royal Rumble or something like that, you're going to see the swerve where Reigns turns on Sami. And it was all just a work. And that could lead to Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm just saying. All right, so then we have the girls. We have the girls War Games match. Bailey, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, Asuka, Bailey, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Mia Yim, and number 5, and I'm predicting that to be Becky Lynch. What do you think?
That could be. Who else could it be besides Becky?
Charlotte.
Yeah, Becky or Charlotte, I guess. One of the two. Would be a big name.
Charlotte comes back. She comes back to SmackDown anyways. She feuds with Ronda as a face.
That'd be a good feud.
I mean, if you think about it, she's been gone for about 6 months.
Been a while. She hurt or is taking a break because she got married.
She got married. She's just taking a break. She's just, I mean, at the end of the day, every time she does come back, where does she thrown right into? The title picture.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So, I mean, it's nice not to see her because every time she is back, she's just basically in the top 3 spots, which is fine. I get it. She's earned those spots. But
oh yeah,
I think that it'd be nice to see her just kind of, a la Seth Rollins, just do your thing for a little bit without any titles. She's one girl who doesn't need a title either anymore.
No, I totally agree. She's already past that point.
Right? I mean, she doesn't need the title to be on top. I think she's doing a great job on her own. All right, so that leads us to Finn Balor versus AJ Styles singles match. Did you know that AJ hasn't won a match on pay-per-view in 3 years?
No?
Yeah, check it out. I mean, I've been kind of looking back.
3 years? Wow.
It's been about 3 years since he's won a match on pay-per-view.
They're calling it a singles match. They're going to have the OC and he's going to have Judgment in their corner, though, right?
I don't know.
Because I'm looking at it right now. It's AJ Styles with the OC, Finn Balor with Judgment Day. Singles match. So I don't know what that means. If it's going to be standing outside the ring, to add a little spice.
I think it would only make sense to have them all out there. But then again,
yeah, that's what it's listed. I'm looking at the official matches right now. So that's what it says. So
right on.
So AJ's got to get a win then. He's got to get a W.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing, man. I mean, AJ, like, you want to talk about 40+ year wrestlers. He's another one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Finn Balor, you want to keep him strong. You want to keep him, building him up as a young buck. I mean, he's not even that young himself, but I mean, he is younger. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
I got to think AJ's got to get a W. I didn't know that 3-year thing, but he's got to get a win then. You'd think.
Well, I mean, if you base it on the last time I think AJ won is when he beat Shinsuke at WrestleMania.
Wow.
Right?
Talk about a guy willing to put people over. That's him.
You know what? Uncle Al, as they call him, backstage, he's all about that. I mean, he knows. He said that this is his last contract. He's not re-signing anywhere after this. When this is done.
They all say that, though. When they come back, I just couldn't stay away. I just love the business. A kid came up in the airport and said, please come back. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and whatnot.
He's definitely still good, but you could definitely see he's slowing down a little bit.
He's still amazing. He's still amazing, right? I mean,
still a good talent, yeah.
But let's
can't talk with a lick, though.
He's gotten so much better since he started here, man. To be honest. It's from the time that he started, yeah, he's got so much better. To be fair,
he's better, yeah, but he's just not talking. He's not his forte.
No,
but he is better. Yes, that's true.
Theory versus Seth versus Lashley, triple threat match here.
I think the match that'll steal the show. I think it has the potential to. They all go all out.
Well, I mean, the slow leg of the bunch will be Bobby Lashley. So, we've seen Theory and Seth go before. Killer matches, they're full of energy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you throw Bobby in there. I think Bobby will just kind of be that kind of filler almost.
Toss them around a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Post.
Like, I mean, you basically have to get rid of Bobby in order to get a match in,
Yeah. Hit him with
right?
the chair, keep him outside, the ref's not looking.
Something like that. Something like that has to give in order to
It's a good Survivor Series on paper. It looks good. Let's see if it produces. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Am I missing it? Oh,
doesn't Ronda
SmackDown
Rousey have a match?
SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah.
So Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey. Um Build-up has been pretty cool. If you've been watching
Yeah,
SmackDown
it's
on
good.
it and whatnot. I mean, you basically got you got a full heel now in Ronda Rousey, which is kind of cool.
She's good
Um
at it. Plays it
I
well.
Yeah, I know she does. And with Shayna Baszler by her side, them two working together, I mean, it's only fitting. It was a matter of time. I'm glad they finally pulled the trigger on that. That's
Yes.
perfect, right? Um, a potential WrestleMania match or a match down the road could be the four MMA horsewomen against the four WWE horsewomen at some point here.
That'd be cool.
It could
Yeah,
be
that'd
kind
be
of
cool.
cool. That's something I've always wanted to see. I hope they pull the trigger on that at one day. I mean, you got to bring back the other two ladies first, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's what we have, man. That's what we have.
Should be
That
a
was
solid
Raw.
show.
That's a that's a Survivor Series. Speaking of Survivor Series, my friend, we had a friend of the show, listener. His name is Nick out of New Jersey, asking us if we could review Survivor Series 94. Now, unfortunately, Nick, we got this request from you earlier this afternoon. So Chance and I talked about it, and what we can do very basically is just give you a quick rundown of what happened on that show. We didn't have the time to watch it, so don't, listeners think that this is us reviewing a show or anything like that. I'm sure that if we have more time, we can do so much more with it and break it down
I
more.
remember watching this when I was a kid. I was 12 years old. I remember Bob Backlund beating Bret Hart. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, this show takes place in San Antonio, Texas. Uh, November 23rd, 1994. I was 1 year out of high school. I graduated in 93. Yes, you were 12 years old. Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was in grade
Six,
seven,
six or
seven, I
seven,
think.
eh? Yeah, yeah. I remember watching this Survivor Series at the pub. Where did you watch it?
Right next door in my front room there. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Interesting show on this one. I kind of forgot about it a little bit. You had two main events here. The first main event was basically Bret Hart against Bob Backlund, and with a towel match or whatever you throw in the towel match.
Yeah.
Sort of idea.
Owen threw it in, right?
Yeah, Owen threw in the towel. I mean, actually, it was just a straight up match. Owen
Was
just
it the
threw in the towel.
crossface chicken wing that Bob tapped him out? Owen?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was this is an ongoing feud between Bob Backlund and Bret Hart at the time, and basically accumulated to this kind of match at the Survivor Series. Bret's parents were there, the family was there, and Owen was ringside, and things were kind of seething between the two of them at this point. You could see it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this was the lead up to WrestleMania 10, in essence, and you basically had Bob Backlund and Bret Hart going at it, and it was a great match, a really good match, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. It was solid.
And it was a solid match. And the finish came here where Bob Backlund threw on the crossface chicken wing, and Owen kept telling please, mom, please, throw in the towel. He's gonna get hurt. Blah blah blah. And unfortunately for them, they threw in the towel. Bret lost the title. Owen turned. You saw it all coming. It all came down to that. And the other main event in this one was the Undertaker versus Yokozuna
Basket match.
casket match. Now this was interesting because if you think about it, the first casket match they had was at the Royal Rumble the year before. And that's when they set it on fire and everything.
Yeah,
And the Taker ascended from the stands to the screen and made his way up. And he was gone for a while. I didn't realize he was gone for so long, because I mean he came back in late summer, early September to start this thing up with Yoko again.
Okay.
So basically, Chuck Norris was the guest
Referee.
enforcer. Yeah. So it was fun. Those were two cool matches. The other matches that we had here was the first match saw the bad guys, who consisted of Razor Ramon, the 1-2-3 Kid, the British Bulldogs, the Head Shrinkers, versus the Teamsters, which composed of Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart, and Jim Neidhart. Now, in this match alone, 1, 2, bloody hell, 3, 4 of the competitors are no longer with us.
Gone. Sad.
Crazy, eh? This was the match that Shawn turned on Diesel as well. So that
to keep the win off him.
Yeah,
That was classic.
yeah, he accidentally gave him a super kick. Diesel didn't take too kindly to it. Razor won the match. He was the sole survivor because everyone was either counted out or pinned by Diesel. Pretty much. That was that match. The next match was between Jerry Lawler's team, known as the Royal Family, with Queasy, Sleazy, and Cheesy, against Doink the Clown, Wink, Dink, and Pink. I've never seen so many midgets in one ring.
Yeah, the Jerry versus Doink with the 3 little people on each side.
Yeah. And so
entertaining, something silly, fun.
No, it was an interesting match. Okay, so it was a submission match between Bret Hart and Bob Backlund. And so we already talked about that. We already know what happened there. And basically the next match was called Guts and Glory, consisting of Lex Luger, Adam Bomb, Mabel, the Smoking Guns, Billy, and Bart, versus the $1 Million Team made of Tatanka, Bam Bam, King Kong Bundy, and the Heavenly Bodies, Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey. Now, the Jimmy Del Rey was one of my favorite guys. If you go back and look at the Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey did this one move. Like, he was grotesque looking. He wasn't a very attractive man physically looking.
Yeah.
So for him to do that one particular move that he always did, it was perfect. It kind of
Is he still alive?
See, I don't know. I know Bam Bam's not with us.
No, Bam Bam's not.
Right? I'm not. I don't want to say.
Did you ever watch Bam Bam's MMA fight that he had?
No. Were they good?
Check it out.
Yeah. Were they good?
Yeah. Well,
cool.
If you're a fan of Bam Bam, no. But I give him credit for going in there.
No, for sure. So look, that's basically what happened at the Survivor Series 94. Nick, thank you for the request.
Yeah,
what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll try to talk about it a bit more. If there's any cards that you guys want us to talk about or review or kind of give our insight on, let us know and give us a little time so we can actually watch it. I just wanted to get this out here. We could do this again properly or do a separate show, like a review show if we can.
Classic show.
Yeah. But I just because the request came today and Survivor Series is Saturday, I just wanted to put something quickly out there for him. Yeah. And it ties it in nicely. Now, here's the one thing I wanted to touch on, and we talked about this when I was telling you about this earlier in the day. The one thing that I noticed from this particular Survivor Series is the buildup and the storylines that went into each feud. I mean, we didn't really go into it, but you saw so much that happened, going into these matches, where this pay-per-view coming up on Saturday, and I was telling you last week, it felt rushed, but they did a good job of it, though. I'm not complaining about what we're going to get on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. It feels complete. It feels good. There are storylines that connect each of these matches going into it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, respect to that. I think it's good. But the art of the storytelling, I feel like,
fading.
It is fading. Everybody wants to get their spots in, man. Everybody wants to get their moves in. And, moves and spots are great. And I love them as much as the next guy. I mean, this Saturday, for example, we were both at the All-Star Wrestling show. And, I spent most of my time around ringside. And even them, like, I saw some stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, that hit hard. Like, when you're that close and you hear that canvas, like, oh, my God, they're not hitting lightly.
Yeah, so, it stings.
It stings. So it was kind of cool to be there for that. But that was a fun show, hey? All-Star.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, you can see that there's new management, new creative, and new owners taking over, because there was more than a few mishaps along the way between. I don't want to call it anybody else, but it was good overall. My kid enjoyed it.
No.
You could definitely. There's a lot of mishaps between the timekeeper and the announcer. Okay. There was a spot where the ref came in the ring.
Right.
the announcer didn't announce the ref.
Right.
The ref caught it. He goes, "I'll introduce you now. Say your name." In a monotone, dope
Yeah.
voice. The ref goes, "Robert Mitchell," and he just turned his head. He would look at the crowd. There's just so many. And then you would see the guy who's running the show. He'd come over with a piece of paper and whisper in people's ears and do this and that. You could just see it wasn't flowing as some of the other All-Star shows did. But they're starting out. They're getting their wheels going. So overall, it was entertaining. But there was a lot of mishaps. I know it's independent wrestling. There's going to be, I'm going to be perfect. There's a lot of mishaps.
Well, I tell you what, I thought the crowd was lit. The crowd was live. They were into it. Unless you have finely tuned eyes like you, me, and you know, some of the others that were there. I don't think anyone noticed those things.
You know what? One of the fun things I seen that I actually enjoyed, it didn't make any sense, but I just thought it was funny, is when Bruiser Joe rolled out Vicious Burn in the wheelchair. So there's no announcement. He just comes out and the wheels are locking. I couldn't tell at first he was joking, but then he came and he did the promo right in front of me. And the other announcer, he stopped asking questions and goes, "Do you have any more questions?" And then Bruiser goes, "You're supposed to be asking me the questions." So the announcer mishap, but Bruiser was able to keep it going. It was funny. I don't know, playing like a dementia guy. I don't know. A little bit of comic relief. I thought it was good. Some people didn't like it, but I thought it was fun. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. Man, poor Shane Gaston. he got the worst of that.
Yeah. So.
Right, but you know what? Here's the thing. All-Star, 2 shows now. They've started planting some pretty good stories here. What they're doing with Scotty Mack and Thunder from Jalunder, I'm really enjoying. You know, this is just carrying on from the last show that they had before this in November. So this is building up to a really good match coming up here down the line between the two of them.
The next card looks even more stacked. The next card on December 3rd, they got some more of the heavy hitters coming.
No,
they got Ladies Choice, a few of the guys.
Yeah, I know it's going to be fun, man. And you know what? A lot of these guys are coming back to the fold. And you know what? I think in the new year, there's something called the Pacific Cup coming back, which is going to be interesting too.
Also, I've seen that All-Star going back to Hope Cinema. They're coming to Abbotsford, so they're branching out like they were before, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get their wheels going, and you know, mad respect to the new management and to the creative team. They're doing their best they possibly can. Mishaps are going to happen. That's a part of growing. But you know what? Again, unless you know, you wouldn't have known. I'll say that. Right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So I mean, unfortunately for us, we see things that others don't, and that sucks sometimes because you see what could have been.
I used to watch it with naive eyes too. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right. So it's just kind of, but it sucks, right?
And speaking of All-Star, since our job is to critique shows and stuff. So what was your favorite? Pick one match. What was your favorite match of the night?
Well, here's the deal, man. I've been really privileged to be given the opportunity to do some work with All-Star here. So I spent most of the night with the camera just filming the show. So yeah, I watched every match. Personally, I would have to say the match between well, I have 2 that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the brawl, the street fight between Odin Rex and Thunder from Jalunder against Team America. And I also enjoyed the match between Calamity Kate against Christina Vaneri. I thought they put on a really good, solid match. Being close to it, they were hitting hard. They weren't going soft on each other, man. These ladies were hitting hard. Good storyline developing out of that match. And the reason I'm saying it, because I'm so close, I get to see the expressions on their faces, which is a big part of it. I mean, moves aside, it's the expression, it's that look on your face, how you sell the move. So being up close, that's what stood out for me there. I really enjoyed the hardcore match, I guess I'd call it, only because with the camera work and whatnot, it's like, okay, who am I following?
With a tag team.
Right? Yeah, and as a tag team on top of that. So on one side, you got one guy getting his ass kicked. On the other side, you got this guy. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, which way am I going? Who am I following here? You know, so it's just kind of capturing it all. But those were probably the 2 matches that I really enjoyed. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Scotty coming out and interfering in that match as well, and then having Thunder coming out and interfering in his match in a way was kind of cool as well. So the continuation of that. What about you? What match stood out for you?
Well, the tag team match is probably the most entertaining. What what they lack in athleticism, they make up in character. Like Thunder's really, he's got the crazy eyes, he gets the crowd jacked up, right? Azim is not the most athletic guy, obviously, but he's good on the stick. So they know how to, you know what I mean? I like seeing Jace Darcy. That guy's built. He's young. He's big. He definitely has potential to make it to another level if he keeps
No,
at it.
100%. And you know what? I keep
And he's
talking
crisp in the ring too, eh?
Yo, he's very crisp. I loved watching. You know, I'll be honest, that was a good match
Yeah.
between him and what was his name?
I don't know that guy's name.
It was kind of cool. Tomko? No.
Oh yeah, TKO. Cody Smith.
TKO.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
He doesn't look Tomko, by the way, but yes,
TKO. Right. But TKO.
And Jay said a really cool thing. So TKO comes to the ring, he brings his kid, goes around the ring. Then Jay's beating him up. He looks and goes, "That's your daddy?"
Yeah.
Really good. That got him a lot of heat. Even the old lady this time said, "Ooh."
Yeah, I know. I was standing right there, man. I saw
that was cool.
That was a ballsy move, in my opinion. Like, I get it. You're protective. You're you know what you're doing. But man, I don't
What do you
know
mean, bringing the
about
kid around the ring?
Yeah, but a little baby like that walking around the ring like that. Like,
Yeah,
it's cool walking around, but I think that was cool. But actually,
did you see that old uncle guy from the crowd that rolled in the ring?
Yeah.
And that jacket that other guy had, amazing jacket.
The Hulkamania
jacket. Oh,
yeah. I know. I was talking to all those guys. I spent a lot of time in that corner. The only thing that I thought was kind of dodgy, in my opinion, that could have gone wrong was when they were fighting by the baby.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with that. I mean, the fans, little baby, they got to be really careful, right?
I'm sure that TKO and Jace knew what they were doing. It's just people around them that concerned me.
Yes.
That's what my concern was, right? So when I was there, I tried to stand as close as possible towards them so they wouldn't, just in case, right? Just instinctually. It wasn't intentionally, it was just instinctually on my part. But I tell you what, man, I had a really good time. I really enjoyed the show. I think they put on a really fun product. Guy, December 3rd at the Maritime Center in Vancouver. If you guys
pretty
can come out,
card, yeah. Ladies
it's a stacked card, man. It's good. I mean, last two houses have been packed. I don't see any different for this one. Oh, we must touch on the butter chicken, man. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, the Bollywood boys are there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who they were fighting per se, but the one guy.
So they were fighting Elliot Tyler.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the guy with the double.
And Icarus.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know too much about them. I know that Icarus.
And I hate to say this because, like, I know some of the guys and I'm friends with some of the guys, but Elliot Tyler and Icarus shouldn't be. I don't think personally shouldn't be in the main event against the Bollywood boys. And you look at Elliot. I hate to do this, but you look at Elliot Tyler, and yeah, he's not ready. He's not taking his craft seriously, to put it nicely. And I don't think he should have made that match. They should have Bollywood against a little bit better of competition, I thought. I get the young guy in there, but the guy is just, I don't want to say he's not a wrestler, but he's not ready for what he was doing.
Well, I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, if anything.
I get it.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Who was the other guy, the Bumblebee guy?
That's Battle Wasp. That's Disco's kid.
Right. So Battle Wasp and apparently this guy are going to have a feud now.
Elliot Tyler.
Yeah. So that's more, not to say anything against
that's Battle Wasp. They could do that, but I wouldn't put Bollywood boys in there. These guys.
I don't think they had anyone to go up against the Bollywood boys, to be honest.
You could have put. I don't know. You could have. I don't know. They could have made a makeshift team. I'm not saying.
Well, I know what you're saying, but that team was pretty.
But
bro, that team was pretty makeshift as it was.
Oh, they make it as they come.
Right?
Crowd.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, who else could they have done it with? I mean, Sean Gaston and Scotty Mack?
Yeah, you could have put Jace with somebody. You could have put Team America. You could have anything.
Well, see, here's the thing. Team America already had their chance against the Bollywood boys, right? So just so you know, the reason they were fighting Team America was fighting Odin Rex and Odin and Thunder was the fact of what happened at the last show where Team America beat up the referee, who's the commissioner's son, in essence, who was basically retiring that night. And they did a number on him, which led to this particular match. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Bollywood will be back December 3rd as well. And the one thing that, I think is really cool for a lot of the younger talent, and, speaking of this Tyler guy that you're talking of, for example, it's a great opportunity for him to learn from
Oh,
these guys,
absolutely. Yeah, it's great for
right?
him.
So when
I'm just
you,
speaking from a fan standpoint, the guy who's
yeah,
speaking the show. It's
yeah,
not for him, it's amazing, good for him. But
yeah.
from the audience perspective, not too sweet.
Nah, fair enough, man. I mean, I
I
don't
have to say.
know. Yeah, I know. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, this is where we get to say what we need to say, right?
Yeah.
So
I wish nothing but the best for the guy, and I hope he
no, for
owns his
sure, man.
craft. I'm just saying, watching it, and even my kids like that, who's that? I don't know.
Well, I
That was
mean, you're gonna get
so.
jobbers at every level, right? So I mean,
No,
he's
I
doing,
don't. Yeah, I know. I'm saying against the Bollywoods, I would have gave a little bit more of a better of a main event personally.
yeah.
But
Well, let's see who they face next, man. I mean,
yeah,
Bollywood will be back December 3rd, as well as everyone else from All Star Wrestling. So once we get more details on that card, we'll share that with you guys as
now here's a
well.
question that somebody asked me at the show, a random fan. He was just talking because where the concessions where all the wrestlers were selling the like pictures and stuff, right? So I was taking my kid around. You want a picture of this guy or that guy? So I don't really know. But another dad said to me, tapped me on the shoulder and goes, "Look at the Bollywood boys. They don't look happy to be here." And they were sitting by the table. And it's like they put on a great show of wrestling. I'm talking about the merch stand. And I looked over when he said that because I didn't notice, and I kind of looked at them like long faces, you know what I mean? Almost like we're up at the big leagues and now we're back down here almost. That's the vibe that I got when the dad tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Look, they don't look too happy." Now, maybe a fan rubbed them the wrong way. I don't know. Maybe they had to argue with their wife. I don't know the story, but if you look at the merch stand, they were smiling with the kids' the picture. I'm talking about when they're waiting for fans to come up. I don't think they got as much recognition as they thought they were going to get. Don't get me wrong, the crowd went crazy. I'm talking about is buying the picture and getting the autograph and getting the picture with them. They had long faces. So I don't know what it was.
I didn't see it, but next time I talk to them, I'll ask them.
Yeah. They'll probably know what you're talking about, but that's what I noticed. The dad noticed it, who pointed it out to me. So just little things like that. But they put on a hell of a show. They're good entertainers.
Well, I tell you what, man.
Crowd loves them.
So did Flying Marines have a good time?
He did. He enjoyed it. Yep.
Yeah, Aria, Little Miss Smith, she had a blast as well. She was there, and big shout out to
Reigns and Scotty were going back and forth.
yeah,
So,
no, for sure. But hey, we should probably end this now. I gotta get going on to some other things here as we speak. But before I go, I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that were at the show that helped me look out for Little Miss while I was doing what I had to do. So big shout out to the family that was sitting with her, and some of the talent that was there as well, looking out for her. Mad respect to you all. Thank you very much. And she's so happy to have had that experience with you guys as well. So from both of us, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chance Michaels, for cutting out some time out of the schedule and letting us do what we get to do. This Thursday, we promise to come back with a boxing show. We haven't come out with one. Unfortunately, we're beginning that season now. I had to go to a caroling event held by Aria School on Thursday, so I wasn't able to be present. So we will get one out this Thursday. So there's a lot that's been kind of going on. We need to touch on a lot and talk a lot. That being said, I am Bobby Sampson. He is Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, subscribe, share the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in between time, in the meantime, that's it for Samp&Chance. Everybody have a safe rest of your week. And tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, Canada plays Belgium for the first time since 1986 in the World Cup. Go Canada, go. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.